Imagine serving your country, dying in a war zone, and then disappearing from the official record, not because you survived, not because your sacrifice was questioned, but because your name was no longer listed among the war dead. That is the controversy now surrounding the Pentagon, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, and the Trump administration. 4 U.S. service members who lost their lives during Operation Epic Fury suddenly disappeared from an official Pentagon casualty database, triggering outrage, difficult questions in Congress, and fresh scrutiny over how the administration has handled the Iran conflict. So, what really happened? Did the Pentagon erase these names? Was it a technical mistake? Or is there a much bigger story behind this growing controversy? Let's break it down. The controversy began after reports revealed that a Pentagon website had removed the names of 4 U.S. service members killed during America's military operation against Iran. The Defense Casualty Analysis System, the official Defense Department website that tracks casualties during Operation Epic Fury, currently lists a total of 14 deaths. But according to reports, just a day earlier, the total stood at 18. That meant 4 names had disappeared from the official casualty list. Even more striking, the lower figure was also less than what U.S. President Donald Trump had initially acknowledged. Speaking about the deaths, Trump said, "One death is too many, but it's 18. That statement immediately raised more questions. If the president himself acknowledged 18 deaths, why was the Pentagon's official database showing only 14? The 4 service members at the center of this controversy are 25-year-old First Lieutenant Tyler James Feehan from Hawaii, 28-year-old Sergeant Angel S. Rampersad from New York, 19-year-old Private Isabella Gonzalez from Texas, and 30-year-old Sergeant Michael Emmanuel Swinton from North Carolina. 3 of them, Feehan, Gonzalez, and Rampersad, were killed in Jordan during Iranian ballistic missile and drone attacks. Swinton died in Iraq during what has been described as a controlled explosion involving an Iranian drone. Their flag-draped caskets were later transferred during a solemn ceremony at Dover Air Force Base, attended by Trump and Hegseth. The families of the fallen were publicly honored, and military statements confirmed their deaths, which made the disappearance of their names from official records even more controversial. The controversy quickly spilled into Washington. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has already found himself under pressure during a Senate hearing as lawmakers questioned both the rising death toll and the administration's handling of the war. Georgia Senator Jon Ossoff challenged Hegseth over his earlier claims that Iran's military had been destroyed and that Operation Epic Fury had been an overwhelming victory. Those remarks have now come under renewed scrutiny as casualties continue to rise months after those declarations. The conflict is now in its 5th month. After estimating the cost of the war at $37.5 billion while requesting additional funding from Congress, Hegseth faced difficult questions over whether the administration's earlier optimism matched the reality on the ground. Lawmakers also pressed officials on whether casualty reporting had remained consistent throughout the conflict. Meanwhile, retired Lieutenant General Ben Hodges also questioned the administration's transparency. Speaking with the Times, he said, "The administration seems to have a real hard time being honest about what is going on, not just about casualties, but about the whole war in general." He further argued that downplaying war deaths shows an unwillingness or inability to aggressively learn from mistakes. His remarks added fuel to an already heated debate over accountability during wartime. As criticism mounted, attention shifted to one crucial question: how did 4 officially identified casualties simply disappear from the Pentagon's database? As the controversy grew, the Pentagon pushed back against suggestions that the casualties had been deliberately erased. Acting Pentagon Press Secretary Joel Valdez told the New York Times that there had been temporary data disruptions. He also said, "We attempted to explain the anomalies to the New York Times ahead of publication, but given their lack of knowledge in this area, they proceeded to write a non-story." Valdez added, "We remain committed to ensuring the utmost accuracy of all casualty reporting." But the explanation did little to end the debate. Critics argued that an official military database should not temporarily lose confirmed casualty records under any circumstances. According to reports, 3 military officials told the New York Times that one possible reason for the change was that the 4 troops died after President Trump declared a ceasefire in April. However, that ceasefire ultimately failed to hold. The fighting continued, and the war carried on months after Trump had publicly said he expected it to end within just a few weeks. That contradiction only intensified scrutiny surrounding the casualty records. Questions also emerged over how and when military deaths are added to the official database, and whether procedures changed after the ceasefire announcement. The Pentagon later referred questions to a statement posted on X by spokesperson Sean Parnell. In a strongly worded response, Parnell accused the media of creating unnecessary panic. He wrote, "This is one of the worst instances of the fake news media manufacturing lies out of thin air for absolutely no reason at all but to cause distress among the American people." He continued, "Our Pentagon press office gave the New York Times a courtesy off-the-record phone call explaining in detail that the site errors on the Defense Casualty Analysis System were due to a temporary data disruption. Our team explained we are working on it being resolved in coordination with the military services." Parnell also defended the position, saying, regardless of that true explanation, the New York Times was already colluding with 3 anonymous sources to push a completely fake story. At the heart of this controversy are not just numbers on a government website. They are 4 American service members whose deaths have already been publicly acknowledged, their identities are known, their sacrifice has been honored, and their flag-draped caskets were received during a dignified transfer ceremony attended by the country's highest leaders. Yet, for a period of time, their names reportedly disappeared from the Pentagon's casualty database, creating confusion and raising fresh questions about transparency during wartime. Whether the missing records were caused by a technical glitch, a reporting delay, or something else entirely, the episode has become another flashpoint in the ongoing debate over the administration's handling of Iran. For now, the Pentagon maintains that the disappearance of the names was the result of temporary data disruptions and insists the casualty reporting system remains accurate. But critics argue that when it comes to those who lost their lives in service, even a temporary disappearance from the official record raises serious concerns. With the war now stretching into its 5th month, casualties increasing, billions of dollars being requested from Congress, and lawmakers demanding answers, scrutiny over every official record is only expected to grow. Because in war, numbers can be corrected, databases can be updated, statements can be revised, but the sacrifice of those who never came home cannot be erased. And as this controversy continues to unfold, the questions surrounding transparency, accountability, and public trust remain far from over.